What's up, Pokemon trainers? It's your host with the most, Griever, as always, bringing you guys a brand new video series. What we're doing today, what are we doing? Well, what we're going to do is we're playing in a Pokemon tournament, a Pocket Monsters tournament on Discord, if you will. What we've decided to do is, between a good friend of mine, me, and Ban Marsh, decided to sort of come up with this idea. Ban came up with the idea. I helped him polish some of the rules, and we got a lot of great people in from Missed Content's Discord. Link will be in the box down below for his Discord, to join in this little tournament style thing. Now, a little different than a draft format, a little different than your standard tournament style. So what we decided to do is we're going to award points. At the end of every single week, we're going to award points to the top 5 people in the tournament. Now, the bracket is a double elimination style. There'll be more details about that later, and most of you guys will start to understand how the point system works as things go on. For the most part, what's going down here is that every single person picks a game. Every single person picks anywhere from Generation 3 all the way up to Generation 8. You pick your favorite core series game, you play through it up until you get to the first gym. The only rough rule is try to keep your Pokemon around the level of the gym leader's strongest Pokemon. So in my case, I'm playing Leaf Green, so Onix is level 14, Brock, by the time I get to Brock, roughly 14, 15 is as strong as my strongest Pokemon should be. Now, there's not really any other limitations. Play the game as you want, and every single week we go into this bracket, we go into Pokemon Showdown, we load up the Pokemon exactly how they are in-game, natures, EVs, IVs, movesets, and all, and we decide to go at it toe-to-toe in a 2 out of 3, best 2 out of 3 matchup in a tournament bracket setting. So, it's been a roller coaster of a Saturday. It's been a lot of fun so far. We've just had quite a few matches. I'm going to be uploading all of my matches after the fact with commentary after. I tried to do it live. It didn't work out so well. It wouldn't record correctly. So instead, we're just going to watch the VODs from Pokemon Showdown. And I'm going to be here representing Leaf Green, of course. I'm going to be here every single week, bringing you guys the highlights of simply my matches. At first I thought I might highlight the other matches, but that's just not going to be the case. And then later on in the week, you guys will get an upload of all my gameplay. I recorded all my gameplay leading up to this, my ideas, my strategies, and etc., which will be released after the fact, so nobody can use that information against me in the tournament. There's going to be 9 tournaments total, of course, 8 gyms and 1 set of Elite Four. So there's going to be 9 weeks of 9 tournaments. Going to be really exciting. We award points at the end of every single week for who did the best. And at the end of Tournament 9, we'll tally it all up and see who actually became Pokemon champion. So I hope you guys are getting a grasp for what we're doing here. It's really exciting. It's a little different. Ben and I worked quite hard on trying to get this all together, all polished up and stuff. We're still working out some of the kinks here in the first tournament. We didn't do a practice run or anything. So this first tournament, a little wonky with scheduling, a little wonky with what's okay and what's not okay, level-based wise and Pokemon-wise and such. But we're still counting it all, and for the most part, this is going to be a lot of fun. So let's get into my matches for this week. So here we are, guys, at the first round, first match, first tournament. Let's go. Our opponent is the French-Canadian, only known as Bob. Great name, great name. So it's me, your host Griever, as always, facing off against Bob from Quebec in Canada. Now, right off the bat, let's just take a quick look at the team here. So right when we first went into this match and we were facing each other down, we were waiting a little bit for other people to jump in. It looked right off the bat like Pikachu would have a clear advantage. My team would have a clear advantage, but not so much. With a water grass, that eliminates the water differential. Torchic isn't actually flying type, and neither is Dustox. So my electric moves, and Pikachu doesn't have a great special attack stat right now, so it looked bad from the onset, but realistically, let's wait and see what happens. So, jumping right into it here, we start off, and, we can up that a little bit, the slow stat. We first jump in with Apollo, our Mankey. I thought that was a good run, and so far, it was an excellent idea because a Karate Chop takes out the Poochyena, super effective, no critical hit necessary right off the bat. Then he jumps into the Twilo, tries to use the Sky Attack. I used the Rock Tomb. That was unexpected for him, super effective. Speed falls, does a lot of damage, but the Oran Berry happens. Now, I'm not willing to take the Sky Attack, even if it does hit. It missed, but nonetheless wasn't willing to take the risk. I jump into one of my weaker mons, Marco the Pidgey, and I start going for the gusts and stuff because the sky attack did miss, didn't do a whole lot of damage, and now the gusts are just doing my job for me. The sky attack once again tries his best, no dice, and we get with some relative just small damage, we get away with killing. So now he brings in Loco Coco, the Lollytad. So I figure, hey, what else can we do? Marco is the weakest, one of the weakest level we got. Let's just do what we can with Marco while he's out there. And we end up doing quite a bit of stuff here. The natural gift fails. The gusts are doing relatively decent damage. It's super effective because of the grass typing. And even though Marco is lower leveled, at least he's putting in the work. He's putting in the work. We don't get the confusion. The confusion ends, and in comes Kung Pao, the Torchic. Now, at this point, I'm thinking, oh, and a Rock Tomb happens right here. A Rock Tomb happens. I was not expecting a Rock Tomb from the Torchic, and that ends our little run there. So I jump back into Apollo. Now, some of you might be thinking, why would you do that? For that reason right there. Speed fall, everything, another Oran Berry. It's going to be detrimental. The Peck does do a super effective move. I knew that was incoming, but I wasn't that worried because I knew that Mankey had already done his job. And we go for the Karate Chop, trying to get a critical. We end up killing the Lollytad, so that's really good. Now this thing, this Skirsit that comes in is really annoying because it's got quick attack, and I forget this in later matches. I keep forgetting about the quick attack because I take a lot of chip damage from that thing. So we jump into Brute Root, our Bulbasaur, to go up against it, and then he jumps into the Dustox. Now at this point I Leech Seed right away. Even though taking the confusion, I'm very bulky, special defense wise and defense wise. So Brute Root has my best option of surviving anybody's attack, whether it's super effective or not. The Leech Seed is doing its work though. Especially with the Gust move, I jump into Ash, my Pikachu, and even though my damage isn't going to be that great, and another Oran Berry, this is going to be detrimental in later matches. The fact that I have no hold items. In Leaf Green, there is no option for a hold item as far as I know at this junction. So there's no berries and none of that stuff. So I have to go in here fighting an uphill battle against an even matched team that all have Oran Berries. So when my damage, as you guys can see, is only doing 13-15% damage, I'm taking damage without any reprieve from a berry. So very unfortunate. But the Leech Seed is definitely helping us out, and we get rid of the Dustox after a few moves, as you guys saw. Now, here's where we try the Thundershock. Once again, very worried about the Pikachu from the onset, but looking at that damage output versus the Torchic versus my Pikachu, Pikachu does not have the spark. He does not have the spark, pun not intended. So we managed to get Kung Pao down to the yellow. We get the Torchic down to the yellow. We go for the confusion. It does okay damage, and that super effective Rock Tomb. Boom, there goes Butterfree right off the bat. Butterfree's just an easy switch in. Now we jump into Luke, our Rattata-Tata-Tata. The quick attack I was hoping would have killed right away because the attack stat on Rattata is not bad, but either way it takes 2 hits and we're down to 71% of our HP. This is where he's down to his last Pokemon. I've got 2. I'm going for the quick attacks here against the Skirsit, but he's got Hydro Pump of all things. What the fuck is what I thought. I was like, how unfair is that? Having a Hydro Pump. Not only am I missing out of berries and stuff, but then we deal with that. This is where, of course, Vine Whip, not super effective, but not very effective, so Vine Whip doing okay. The Hydro Pump, of course, even though it did miss one move, and even when it does hit, only does about 20-odd% damage. So then, switching up tactics, trying to go for it, and in the end of the day, my Vine Whip could beat out the Hydro Pump even if he lands them. I resist it, of course, because it's not very effective, as powerful as it is, and my Vine Whip ends up winning us the match. So we end by the skin of our teeth with Brute Root being the MVP here, lasting us with only 31% HP. So very close match, good game, GG to Bob, and that's the first match. So now we start round 2. Now I won by the skin of my teeth, and I'm thinking that this match is just going to be as equally really close neck and neck. So why don't we just jump right into it? So this time, when we go into it, I decided to start off with Brute Root. I'm thinking that that Leech Seed really helped us out. Unfortunately here, I recognize that this sucks. Started out with the Grass type, the one thing I can't Leech Seed on his entire team. And then we get hit with the confusion. Even though we do some damage with Vine Whip, I've got to switch out. Though we end up dodging a bad absorb attack, and it doesn't really do much. And then we can, of course, get a quick gust of those orange berries once again. So now I'm going to take the confusion, and I'm going to have to make a decision here. This is where I decide to use gust anyways for the super effectiveness. Don't get hit by confusion, thankfully, but I take 34% hit from a bubble. Now, I do hit myself in confusion here. Once again, without that berry, Marco would have beaten the Lollytad, and unfortunately, our Pidgey goes down right off the bat. We jump into Luke for a quick attack, thinking that it's going to end the battle, and it does, thankfully. So we're both down one mon. We're back to even Seekum. So we go up against Moria the Poochyena. Now I'm thinking, okay, what's he really got against Luke? And then he does a sand attack. That really bothers me. I get a quick attack in, and I said, well, I might as well jump into Apollo. Unfortunately, the Poison Fang, a lot of damage. I don't have high defense on. The high attack on Mankey is great, but the low defense really is going to be showing here in this match, because now one gust down to 31. We're already, even though it's super effective, once again, taking huge hits here, and our attack stat isn't making up for it because we can't even get him down to his berry usage on his Dustox. We have to switch out. We take a confusion hit on our Rattata. We get the quick attack, but then, of course, the Oran Berry comes in and back up to 65%. The Poison Sting does end up poisoning Luke, and this is going to be detrimental for this match, because here's where, even though we get the switch out, I see no reason to not keep Luke in. He can always, quick attack will attack all of his Pokemon, do some damage. It's very good, and we get a critical hit, of course, but the Oran Berry makes it not matter. Goes for the Sky Attack. We get poisoned. We're taking this chip damage from the poison. It's not long now until we're going to be out and out of this thing. I don't think the critical mattered for the Sky Attack. Actually manages to hit the Sky Attack, and now there goes down Luke, our Rattata. Here's where the Twilo, I jump, of course, into Pikachu for the easy kill, but we actually take a hit. We take a hit from our Pikachu, who has not great special defense, not great defense at all, and this is going to be really shitty, because even with a Thunder Wave Torchic, it's not going to matter too much with that Rock Tomb. And our speed is down anyways with the Rock Tomb. So we switch out to Butterfree, hoping for the best. That Ember, bam, we're down to less than half, and we also get the burn. Thankfully, the burn is not going to affect our confusion, but it does still do chip damage at the end of the day. So, and the confusion, as you can tell, does nothing. This Torchic is, unfortunately, in this first round, I'm up against someone who picked a fire starter and I picked a grass starter. I don't have a water type to counteract this thing. It's not flying type, so Thunder Shock ain't gonna do anything. And this is where we do some chip damage here and there with confusion. Butterfree lasted way longer this round than I expected, but at the end of the day, and missing with the Hydro Pump was huge. I don't know if that was a smart move on Bob's part, but once again, those Oran Berries making it look like I've done nothing, that Alice has not put in the work. She put in the work, she did great job, but the Oran Berries just make it look like nothing ever happened. So here's where we jump back into, this is where we make a mistake. I jump into Pikachu, and I could have went for my own quick attack just to do some easy chip damage. I go for the Thunder Shock, and forgetting that the quick attack and my low level. So then here is where, because of the bug typing, I go for the Rock Tomb. Not enough to kill it, unfortunately, and the quick attack takes out Apollo. This quick attack has taken out 2 of my Mons now, just because of priority circumstance. Very unfortunate. So I jump into Brute Root here. It's my last Pokemon, and I'm up against 3 of them. I've got 88% HP. Now, granted, one of my tankiest Pokemon, and I think I might have half a shot. So I try the same thing this time. The confusion does 21%, and that's all fine and good. I Leech Seed it, and I think Leech Seed, okay, we're going to get some health back. We're back up to 80%. It's going to do slow chip damage. I'm going to be just fine. But then, between the super effective confusions and the gusts and stuff, and unfortunately Vine Whip does very, very little, Leech Seed almost does more, and now I'm into only choosing between that and Tackle. Leech Seed, as far as I'm aware, does not stack, so we're down to doing these little 12 chip damages while he's able to do anywhere from 20 to 25% damage. 21% in that particular one, and now I'm confused. Now, I hurt myself in confusion here. That's going to end up costing me, at the end of the day, the game, I believe, because now I'm confused. I took a hit from confusion, and even with the paralyzation, 1 Ember, and it's all over, because here's the Leech Seed. and the super effectiveness, though it didn't manage to kill me because of that one extra hit I took from the confusion and the extra hit I took from the dust dogs. Here I might have had a shot, but that Oranberry comes in and there's just no chance for me against Peck, Ember, everything else. Type differential totally against me, and that ends up being the match. So I lost. I won round 1, lost round 2, and then we go to the tiebreaker in round 3. So right off the bat, he pulls out the Poochyena. I pulled out the Bulbasaur, thinking the early Leech Seed, which I do use, but this is a terrible idea because I take a bite right off the bat. I should have started with Apollo at this junction because a Karate Chop would have been fantastic. And even gaining that little bit back, and now Bulbasaur is Vine Whip, only doing 18% of course to the bird, have to jump out, and now Bulbasaur is down and on the run. So a Sky Attack is incoming. It misses my Pikachu, which I'm grateful for after I switched into Ash here, but I Thunder Wave this thing. Probably shouldn't have done that realistically. Here's where I go for the Thunder Shock. It does about 40% damage, but this Poochyena, like, once again, just jump into Apollo. What am I doing? And here I finally do jump into Apollo, but I take 31% damage of the Poison Fang. So already, even though I end up killing the Moria, the problem is here I've killed the Poochyena, but I have damages on 2 of my best mons right off the bat, being Bulbasaur and Mankey. So I go for the Karate Chop, hoping for the critical hit, and it doesn't happen. I'm confused. I'm not willing to take the confusion damage, considering last time that was what ended the match. So I switch out into Marco. Granted, it's only the absorb technique. Not too worried about it, use the gust, but unfortunately, as you can tell, that Oranberry once again. Get confused again with the Teeter Dance move, have to switch out, I've taken some chip damage. I bring out Luke the Rattata. I take the bubble hit, which once again really, really sucks. The quick attack, like all of a sudden, these Oranberries, like this thing should already be dead. Once again, another confusion. I decide to switch out. I don't want to take any of those confusion hits. I'm too worried about the confusion hit because it cost me the game last match that I'm really worried about taking any confusion hits. So I'm not willing to stay in like it was the first match, which is why I won the first match. I should have thought of that, and now everybody's at half health or taking chip damage. The Hydro Pump does hit Marco, you know, and that's fair deal, fair deal. So Marco is officially down. This is where I jump into Butterfree. We go against Sky High here, who, I mean, once again, confusion and paralysis. I'm thinking I'm doing okay, and I take and I do another confusion hit. There's comes in the Oranberry, but I continue to do this, and I do get my hacks. I get my hacks from the paralysis. The confusion doesn't really do anything in the end, but it does actually, you know. At the end of the day, the paralysis does come in with the hacks a few times, enough for me to kill the Twilo. So Butterfree's alive, looking like a bit of a champion. But then, of course, Alice takes a quick attack from this this thing. I should have been paying more attention because I jump into Brute Root here, and I'm thinking, okay, we'll take a Hydro Pump, we can resist. It misses. I get the Leech Seed, and I'm thinking, all right, I'm gonna get my Bulbasaur back up to full HP because I made some stupid mistakes. Unfortunately, switches out to the Torchic. I use the Vine Whip. It does very, very little damage, only 13%, and I'm not willing to bet on Tackle doing anything different. So I jump in instead to Luke, my Rattata, but his speed drops, and also, and I don't really care at the time, but that Rock Tomb really hurts the pack. I mean, it's a starter against a Rattata. 2 levels down, it wasn't going to do much, and Luke goes down. This is where I jump into Pikachu, and I make a really big mistake here. I decide, like, why don't we paralyze this thing? Why don't we go for the hacks? The problem is that Rock Tomb, really getting lucky with the speed stat drop there, but also the fact that realistically, even with paralyzation, Thunder Shock and Quick Attack just aren't that powerful. Pikachu cannot hit a punch. He's there to jump in, Thunder Wave, and jump out. So I decided to jump into Brute Root and try to Leech Seed. I try to, like, okay, if he's going to keep this thing in, maybe I can get some health back from this damn thing. So we get Leech Seeded, but unfortunately, Brute Root takes the Ember at the most inopportune time. The friggin' the Oranberry, once again, these Oranberries are really ruining my day because everybody here should have been at yellow, just like my team. Unfortunately, not so much. The Dustox is still at full health. Ends up poison stinging my Pikachu. Doesn't get the poison, and all I've managed to do is paralyze this thing. Meanwhile, it's doing way more damage with the poison sting. It still doesn't poison, but look at that damage output. My Pikachu can't touch this thing. It's doing nothing. It's doing negligible damage, only 13 to 14%, and I'm end up going to have to sacrifice him because at the end of the day, he's just not viable at this point. So I'm thinking, okay, I still got my two strongest. I got Apollo and I got Bulbasaur. Rock Tomb should kill this thing. It does not, and then activates the berry. Now, get the free paralyzation, which is nice, and the Rock Tomb does hit. So that's my one lucky break. But now I'm still facing two Pokemon with a Bulbasaur that has almost no HP. Here, I have to hit I'm going for the critical hit here, thinking that the Rock Tomb wouldn't have been enough. Maybe I made the wrong mistake. Had the Rock Tomb hit, I probably would have killed the Torchic and then maybe have won this match. But probably still not, because then we go for the tackle because of the paralysis. We do end up killing the Torchic, but in comes this damn thing, which once again with a couple of quick attacks is able to take us out with no problem. I go for the Leech Seed, hoping that he misses some Hydro Pumps. You know, and maybe I can survive a few things, but he's just going for the quick attack, and that's the end of the match. Unfortunately, I really ended up making a lot of mistakes, specifically in this match more than the other two. In the first match, I think I played quite well with one or two mistakes. Second match, 2 or 3 mistakes. This match, a lot of mistakes. Being so afraid of the confusion early on in the matchup really was detrimental to me, and I took a lot of chip damage as a result. And also should have went for the Rock Tomb with the Mankey against the Torchic. I thought the Karate Chop could do it with my strength, with my attack stat the way it was, but it just wasn't enough. And those Oran Berries, once again, it's all strategy, but without the Oran Berries, or if I had had some Oran Berries, all 3 matches would have went a lot different. But now, unfortunately, I end up in the losers bracket of the Bando tournament of Miss Content's Discord. So, yeah, so that kind of sucks, but we'll move on to, we did play the losers bracket later on in the day, so I'm in the first matchup of the losers bracket because we're doing a double elimination tournament, so everybody's got a chance, 1 extra shot, even if they lose their 2 out of 3. So let's jump into that match. Okay, so now we're into the losers bracket because this is a double elimination tournament. We lost very close matches up against Bob. I'm not upset by that. I made some mistakes. There was hacks on both sides, but all 3 matches extremely close. Not upset at our loss necessarily there, though I was wishing I could have won my first round. But now we're into the losers bracket here, and we're up against Neve. Now, Neve, she has a party that is really, the level difference is looking like it's going to matter. The level difference looking like it's going to matter. Neve lost against Seth in the first round, so now we are the first 2 of the losers bracket to go at this. So why don't we see what happens here? And I think you guys are going to be a little shocked. So right off the bat, we jump in, starts with Fluffers, the Foofaroo. And I'm thinking, okay, let's still, a good strategy is to start with the Leech Seed. The Leech Seed is a great idea. And I get the Leech Seed. But then we get into the, and 10% already, starting to wear this thing down. And I'm thinking, all right, I can jump into Mankey here. He uses Workup. I'm like, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. I can switch out. Did not expect the second Workup. This is a huge problem because from here on, even though my Karate Chop might have been able to take this thing out in 1 hit, here starts a sweep. This is the most detrimental thing that has happened. We award bonus points for anybody who can survive in a match without losing a single Mon. And here you're seeing that there is absolutely nothing I can do with a ×2 attack headbutt from a level 14. I mean, my strongest Pokemon is level 14, got taken out in 1 hit. Everybody else is between 10 and 14, and they just have no chance. And even if I can do some chip damage here, it's not going to be relevant. The quick attacks, they can do barely anything to this thing. It's got such a high defense, that fur coat ability and all that stuff. And I get sweeped. I'm the first person to get sweeped in this tournament, and I'm also the first one to lose a match without taking out a single Mon. So that's the end of that match. Very, very sad. I feel like an idiot, a moron, a doofus. So Neve managed to sweep me in the last round, and that was like, honestly, gotta respect it. I made 1 blunder, and Neve took total advantage. It was a great strategy. It wasn't hacks, it wasn't cheap, it just was the way the cookie crumbled. I made 1 blunder, and boom, Neve took advantage. Fantastic, GG to Neve. So here's the second round, though. I think we have a chance at redeeming ourselves, so let's freaking go. Now, what happens here is, we jump right off. We said, okay, enough with the leech seed strategy. Let's jump into the powerhouse. Let's go Apollo. Let's do rock tombs, and let's do karate chops. Let's see what we can do. And we go for the karate chop, and it does do good damage, but unfortunately starts out with the Psyduck, and I mean that confusion is just too deadly. And then we go into Brute Root for the leech seed idea. Actually faster, confuses me. The Psyduck is actually faster than my Bulbasaur. Confuses me. I get hit by the confusion. I get nothing done with Bulbasaur other than the fact that I take Bulbasaur. I might as well left him in to die. So here's where we're having a really big problem. Now we're fighting an even higher uphill battle. I think the critical hit did matter to kill Rattata there. So we're already down one Pokemon and we've barely done anything. So this is where I make the actual good decision to switch into Pikachu. At this time I'm flustered. I've lost my last 3 matches. Actually I've lost my last 4 matches. I've only won 1 match in this tournament so far, and I'm feeling like really I'm not thinking my moves through here. So I go for the Thunder Wave. It seems like the smart idea at the time. Switch into Apollo, see if I can get a Rock Tomb down on this thing. I do that. It is super effective, and a 2-hit KO potentially does get paralyzed. I get a little bit of hacks on my side. So this time I'm not going to get sweeped necessarily, but here's where Rock Tomb does nothing. Physical attacks going to do absolutely nothing. That low kick even didn't do anything. Now maybe I should have gone for the Karate Chop, but I don't think it matters at the end of the day because this Fluffers is just too strong. I'm not going to be able to do anything here either, even with the paralysis. A paralysis with the Leech Seed might have done something, but then the workup happens, and now we're back to square one, just like we were in the first match. I'm not going to be able to do much here. I'm only going to be able to do chip damage at best. Nobody here can take this thing out. This thing is a tank. I've only, my special attack on all my Mons are nowhere near able to do any significant damage more than about 14-12%. And all my physical attackers, their attacks are completely negated by Fur Coat. Apollo's already down. This is the end, unfortunately. And you can see I'm sacrificing all my Mons just to do simple chip damage, a little bit of confusion, a little bit of hit and confusion, a little bit of paralysis on my side. I actually do manage to take down 2 of Neve's Pokemon, but now you guys have seen the end of this. This Smoochum is actually faster than, somehow a baby is faster than a Butterfree, I have no idea, and faster than Brute Root, Paralysis, whatever, it doesn't matter. Super effective hit, of course the Powder Snow, and I'm down, and that's the end of the game. So I'm out of Tournament 1. I don't think this headband is very lucky. I don't think we're rooting for the home team of Leaf Green anymore, ladies and gentlemen, but unfortunately, so yeah, you can argue, I think I played, other than a couple of mistakes in the Bob match, I think I played the first 3 matches very well, even though I lost the round. Against Neve just played better. GG to Bob, GG to Neve. I didn't play very good against Neve. Neve has a far stronger team, and I was a little flustered from losing my last 2 matches. And I think the pressure got to me a little bit, and I didn't like sit down, and I was like, I got to make a move, and I was a little too, rather than trying to think things through and think about trying to psych Neve out or anything like that, I didn't even consider that, and I was just going for the full offensive rather than trying to play the defensive strategy, to my detriment. So I lost the last 4 matches out of 5, and I'm officially out of tournament. So so I'm going to get 0 points. I actually handed Neve 2 points in that match because Neve managed to win without any without losing any Mons, any Pokemon. So I don't like calling them Mons. So yeah, so that's that. That's week 1 of the tournament. So I guess this headband is not that lucky now, is it? Either way, I don't care. It was a lot of fun so far. I've been spectating a lot of the matches. The tournament isn't over yet. We still have quite a few matches to go. I have no idea where anybody was placed. But since I've already been eliminated, I decided to start editing my video, get it uploaded to YouTube as soon as possible, because I'm going to be doing this every single week. I'm going to be uploading all of my matches and commenting on them after the fact. And if we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. It's just a lot of good fun. So stay tuned, though, for sometime during this week, I'll be uploading the gameplay leading up to this match, why my team is the way it is, what the movesets are, and what my plan is for next week going into the next tournament. Because nobody is ever eliminated completely. There are 9 tournaments. Every combatant has a chance every single week, and nobody is better than the other. It's just point-based system at the very end. So I get a big fat 0 for this week. I don't know where anybody else is going to end up. I think Neve's got a good shot at winning the losers bracket. I think Seth, who beat Neve down into the losers bracket, is probably going to win the whole thing for the first tourney. But, you know, that's just based on the Sword and Shield level cap and stuff like that. But we're going to be really excited for tournament number 2. We're still working out the kinks and everything. And I had a great time this Saturday. So, and there's still more matches to come. Like, as I'm recording this, there's still many more matches. Not everybody's played their match. I've been spectating all the matches thus far, and I've been having a blast spectating, even more than I have playing. So definitely, if you're excited about this type of thing, if you want to see the other matches, join Miss Content's Discord in the box down below. The link will be there. And even though you can't join this time, we'll be doing more of these tournaments. As far as I'm aware, we'll be doing plenty more, and all the VODs for all the matches will be in the Discord, so you'll be able to watch every single matchup, what we're talking about, what we were excited about, who played what, etc. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe as always. Don't forget to drink responsibly as always, and we will see all you Pokemon trainers, masters, and breeders back here again next time for next week when we get our second gym badge. And we have another tournament on Saturday. Looking forward to it. This time, I hope to win at least my first round. So we'll see you guys back here next time. See you.